All right, so we are live. I'm just going to do a quick intro. So, hey everybody, welcome to the Toronto Live Off the Floor Talkback series. I'm Yvette, and I'm the production coordinator at CJRU and your host for today's interview. And I'm joined today by singer, songwriter, and musician Levi-Alexander Love. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty all right. How are you?
Oh, okay. I know, I got my coffee. This is a very official talk show.
That's so funny. Oh man.
All right. So I guess for those tuning in who maybe don't know you very well or don't know who you are, can you give us a quick intro, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Levi. Pronouns are he and him. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, as you mentioned. I run this low-key, on the come-up organization called the UnObscured community, and basically it's just providing a platform for queer and trans, Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Folks like artists and just folks in general to have access to education, to have access to just their artistry and building up on their artistry and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Hey, how's it going there? So yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Thanks.
So on that note, I wanted to ask, given these times, it kind of seems like a lot of us are gravitating towards the arts and the creatives and whether it's, ingesting that kind of media or creating that kind of media. And I was wondering what your thought was about what role do you think art is playing during these times?
Definitely healing and release. I've seen a lot of really cool things on Instagram. Like for example, there's this guy who does all the pinups. What's it called? The cool sayings out of balloons. I don't know if you've seen him, the pink balloons guy. I don't know. Anyways.
Wait, out of balloons?
Yeah, out of balloons. He creates sayings and really meaningful sentences out of balloons, and it's really cool. He has this mini series, it's a kind of mini animation sort of. I don't know. I haven't actually watched them in detail, but I've seen them and I'm yo, I think this is so cool. Just seeing that, as well as folks like Rise, who's an open mic night. They have weekly lives online where you can come in, join the live, and perform your songs and things like that. So little things like that, I think are what's taking place, and I feel it's becoming a source of entertainment, so we don't have to necessarily think about all the bad stuff we're going through right now. So that's what I really think that art's having a role to play in.
Yeah, it's definitely a different form of connection that maybe we're using in lieu of in-person connection.
Yeah.
So as an artist yourself, stuck at home for these past few months, have you found your creative processes to be different? Or I know a lot of people are struggling with motivation and stuff. How's your creative life going?
I mean, it's all right. It's not super great before, but that's just because I need people. I need to talk to people in person and feel normal again. But yeah, it's been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I started this mini online teach stuff about guitar series called Levi Teaches You stuff. And I thought it'd be really cool to do that via Instagram. Just make little videos, little 10-minute IG videos, talking about just stuff I could teach you on guitar, super cool, easy stuff you can go practice at home. And I started it out for fun, but now I'm actually starting to enjoy it. So that's kind of what I've been doing creatively. But other than that, I kind of just watch Netflix. So there's nothing. That's pretty much been my creative process.
Oh yeah, same.
Hey, Kimani, how's it going?
Oh yeah, hey everybody who's joining. So when we asked you, for our, for our promo, we asked you what emotion you created from the most, and you said a place of deep introspection, which was really interesting to me. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. Basically, it's I'd be deeply in thought about something, and I'd just be shit, let's make a great song. So I'd go and I'd play the guitar, and I find a key that I really like, and I find that certain keys kind of bring out different emotions in me. And then I start playing around and seeing how it would sound and stuff like that. So for example, one of my songs is called Hot Cocoa, and basically it talks about not being alone and how just take it easy. It's basically me talking to another friend or something, basically saying you're not really you're not by yourself going through this stuff, and that's kind of because I was feeling like that. I was feeling alone and by myself, and I was just it'd be cool to like spin this emotion on its head and be like, talk to myself from like myself. If I was like outside myself, you know, that's kind of what, that's kind of how I write in general. So
that's cool. Do you normally write like the music first or the lyrics?
The music first, I would say. Yeah, because then it's like, it makes it easier, I guess, to like, because like the chords and stuff kind of bring out all the lyrics and stuff after. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
What creative people inspire you in your music?
My favorite band is Lord Huron. They're this band that, do you know them? Do you know who they are? Yeah, I love Lord Huron. So good, so good.
Yeah,
like
makes me cry.
Right. I totally understand.
Perfect crying music.
Right, like it's always mad, like sad. like I think they have like 3 happy songs. like, you know,
a total of 3.
Yeah, like across their albums, you know. But my favorite album from them is Strange Trails, and like I just loved every song, like back to back. Like the first time I ever heard from them was oh my goodness, it was off The Night We Met. There you go. That's the first song I've ever heard from them.
Oh,
yeah. From
that's a good first.
Yes, the show. Even though it's a really problematic show, it's like 13 Reasons Why, and it was that scene when they were on the dance floor and they were like looking across the room, and that song started to play, and I was like, dude, Shazam to this song, and I'm like, yo, and then I just became like that whole album. I just listened to cover to cover, and I'm like, dude, this is amazing. So that's definitely a creative process for me. A lot of like indie artists, like Racing Glaciers and like, well, Kings of Leon is not indie, but I like them. So I think that they're like really dope. I just like the way that they write is like, their songs are just phenomenal. So that's who I would say inspired me. And then of course her, and I just love the way she plays like the guitar. Like first of all, she's an amazing musician, like amazing. And like, I liked her from the first album she wrote, when she talked about like Lights On and like Focus on Me and those tracks. Like I loved that because it was like so much emotion. I love like emotional music, you know, like that's what I connect to. So yeah.
How long have you been like making music?
I've been playing guitar since I was 13, and I'm 24 now. And I would say my family's pretty musical. So I would say like the first songs I started writing when I was like 11. It was like really like, I don't know, really like cool, cute little raps I used to write with me and my best friend when we were kids. Me and my childhood best friend used to write raps together and stuff. So that's what I used to do. And that was like pretty fun. So yeah, I would say.
Did you have like a rap duo name? Please tell me you did.
Yeah, but I can't remember it. So
no.
So I know. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened there. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take like a quick left turn, and I kind of want to talk about social media because you're a very active presence on social media, and like that was basically how I stalked you for this interview.
That's so
very helpful. Thank you.
No problem.
And I noticed like you're pretty open on social media, and in fact, you've even documented parts of your transition, like in your Instagram highlights.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such like a unique and conscious decision. And I was wondering, was that decision to be so open like a difficult one to make? And what do you hope people gain from seeing that?
No, it wasn't very difficult. It was like, I think what might have been awkward was like the boyfriends I used to have, or like seeing other people that I used to know before my transition, and they're all like, oh my God, you know, type thing. But, you know, like thankfully, you know, it's been really well received all around for the most part. And I think that it's helped like, you know, gain some popularity. So that felt pretty cool. But like, I think, you know, what it really is about, I guess like being visible, because I don't see a lot of Black guys on social media that are trans. That's not what I saw at first until I went on social media and realized there's actually a whole lot that exists, and I'm not the only Black trans dude out here. So that was like really affirming, and that's part of why I really went on social media. And like similar to you, I stalked a lot of people on social media and DM'd them a bunch of questions like, what's it like being on testosterone, and what's it like this, and what was top surgery like, and like, you know, and just like getting really obsessed with it. And I feel like I just want to make it easier for people to access like that kind of like supports. So that was pretty much what that was on social media.
Cool. And now I'm guessing like the tables have flipped and people DM you questions, right?
Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah, that happens. But I think it's more been like how people have like bonded with me, I guess. And they're kind of just like, oh yeah, you know, you're a trans guy too. What? That's so wicked. Cool. Haha. And then like, that's pretty much what it's been. So yeah.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Along the same vein, like, another social media question. In this like kind of time of political upheaval and, you know, cries for change, what role do you think social media is playing? Because I've noticed you're very much an activist on social media too.
Yeah. You know, I just think it's about like spreading the word. It's definitely really a really good resource to spread the word around. I also see that how there's like a bit of the negatives where it's like, you know, like there's obviously a lot of people who come against like the Black Lives Matter movement and so on and so forth. So, which is like super weird. But like, I also kind of think that it's like, social media is kind of like a positive and a negative because like in one vein it's really cool to know about like trans people who've passed and or who've been murdered and things like that. And I mean, it's not cool, like obviously it shouldn't be happening, but it's good information to know, so at least we can keep track about like where our trans folks are in the city and what's going on, and like kind of keep a temperature on how like how people are affected. But it's also kind of negative because we keep seeing it and it can be very traumatizing to like keep like witnessing people who look like you, like, you know, not get the justice they deserve in light of their deaths and things like that. So yeah, I think it's really just really good information sharing. But I also just think that like, I wish that we didn't have to talk about our deaths. We could just kind of like die in peace, you know, if that makes any sense, like without having to, you know, so.
I get that, yeah. And that I think that ties in like the way you spoke about that and the way your presence is on social media. I think it's very indicative of like a generous person you are. And so I wanted to circle back to the UnObscured community, and you go more into detail about how that got started and maybe like challenges you faced starting that up.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this is a bit of a long answer, but basically we started out in May 31st of 2019, and how that all began was like, I was sitting at home one day in 2018, like around Pride, and I was just like, dude, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And then I was like, yo, it'd be super cool to talk to people forever. And like, it'd be cool to like make people laugh. And I enjoyed hosting because I've been hosting a lot prior to starting UnObscured. And I was like, dude, like, this is like super fun. You know, people laugh, people think I'm funny. It's great. And like, it was like, it'd be cool to get paid for something like this and like, you know, be able to do something cool. And then I was like, just like, I was a month away of starting Testosterone. And I was like, yo, I don't really see a lot of like, queer and trans open mics anywhere. I think the only one I heard of at that point was Hummingbird, and it's a pity that they stopped. Like, I hope that they can get back running again because I wanted to go, but it just like timing didn't work out. But yeah, I was like really moved by that, and I wouldn't say that's a direct inspiration, but that is something that I think about now, about like how just there wasn't much representation, you know. So then like we started out and it was really cool. We had like 80 people come out to the first show, which was like so dope. And of course, like I'm not a Scarborough native, but like I love Scarborough a lot. Like Scarborough's been home to me for many years. So I felt like it'd be so cool to start an open mic in Scarborough, highlighting queer and trans, Black, Indigenous, and people of color folks, because we don't have a lot of platforms. Like you see Church Street, it's a lot of white people, and it's kudos to them for having a community. But like I think that we need the same thing. And like Scarborough doesn't really talk about queerness much, and I'm like, there's a lot of queer people that live in Scarborough, so like I want to highlight all of that, you know. And so the challenges I face now, ironically, was actually from the queer community. I think a lot of Black people, because of like you know the transatlantic slave trade and like, you know, white supremacy and all that stuff happening, like I feel like we think that there's like a fight for positions. And I'm like, if only we understood that, like, if we just supported each other, like, we would all have a seat at the table. And it wouldn't just be, like, one person. It shouldn't just be me or just be, like, this person or that person running an open mic. It should be, like, a bunch of us. There should be a bunch of open mics across the city. And, of course, it was, like, you know, we got into a bit of a lot of a really rough patch in 2019, which is kind of why we slowed down a bit. But we're kicking back up again. You know, it was, like, my best friend was involved in a really like terrible decision he made, and I wasn't privy to it, so I just defended him off a whim, which was my error. And I really found it was important for leaders to take accountability publicly for when they go wrong, because I know in the queer community, like, that doesn't happen very often. Like, people are not held accountable; they're just canceled and that's it. But people don't, even if and I apologized for what I did, and I still got lit up. So I'm just kind of like, I don't exactly know how the cancel culture works, but that what I would say is a really big hindrance in like the progression of like the Black queer and trans community, because everybody's getting canceled. People are talking mess about this person and that person. It's a lot of really petty stuff. And I just wish that like the community and the culture of UnObscured will kind of show forth not only great leadership, but like really accountable leadership that like I have no problem in admitting when I go wrong. And like, I feel like that's staple into creating a safe space for queer and trans people to live. Because we need to know that like when you make mistakes, you can say you're sorry, and not only say you're sorry, but actually do stuff moving forward. So, I mean, in one vein, while that situation was horrible and I lost a friendship out of it, it was also like a really powerful teaching moment where it was like, you know, I get to see that like, you know, I gotta do better, and I gotta make sure that if I'm starting this movement, all the holes and stuff are covered. So that's pretty much what I would say around that, and like the challenges and stuff. But other than that, it's lit, and I'm super excited to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So
has it like transformed now to adapt to, you know, the pandemic and stuff?
Yeah, we were doing, you know, the weekly open mics, but what I realized was that people are super tired of Zoom. Super tired. Like, and you know what? Honestly, myself included, all right? Like, I was mad tired. But I just felt like, I don't know, it'd be cool to do it. We didn't have much of a platform on UnObscured to do a live because I was nervous that people weren't going to really show up to that. So I felt like, let's try the Zoom way. But now I'm realizing, you know what? Maybe Instagram might be a better way to go. And just like, let's try it that way. So we're just going to stop those shows and shift into a different gear in August. And like, give myself a break, to be honest, because it's a lot running shows every week. But also like, provide a more accessible platform. People don't have to type in a code. They can just like click on UnObscured and be like, watch the show right here. So yeah, I'm going to see how that goes in August. You know, my friend gave me like an idea to do this like interview series similar to what we're doing and interview other artists in the queer trans community that identify as BIPOC. So I'm looking forward. I'm going to tease that out a bit more and see what it is. So stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much what we're going to start doing next month. And hopefully that would gain more of an audience and kind of keep us flowing. But until then, we kind of just do like daily stories where I post like funny stuff in the stories, and also like a lot of learnings and cool stuff. Also like promote stuff around my fellow community members who are having stuff in their communities as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Has
Thanks.
that also, because I saw, I believe there's also like a lot of intersection between types of art media. Like I saw there were some vendors and stuff at UnObscured too, like at previous events. So how are you navigating incorporating those like into, you know, online platforms?
Well, right now, I think, you know, similar to what I was saying before, like it actually ties in really well, actually. Like, so that's people like I'd be interviewing as well and like talking about their businesses and how it is to be a queer person or a trans person running a business, with the intersections of being Black on that, and like the types of businesses you run. Like how is it getting visibility and traction, like those kind of questions. So I think that's how I'll integrate. But for now, we haven't really done anything like vendor wise. I think that'll be easier to do it in person because they sell actual products. So it'd be easier just to like avoid Post Canada or Canada Post and like UPS and so on and so forth. I forgot what they were called, but yeah. So that's pretty much what that's what I would be doing now. So
cool.
Yeah.
Can you maybe tease our audience a little bit about our live stream performance we're gonna have soon for CJRU?
Yeah. So I'm mad excited. I get to do this 30-minute set on I believe it's Zoom, even though I just trashed Zoom.
I know,
yeah, hopefully,
way to go.
But you know, like honestly, it's not a weekly show, so you know what I mean. It's better for a one-time thing. So yeah, save it. There you go.
It's okay. You don't have to backtrack. We have promo for that. It's okay.
But yeah, you know, but yeah, at the end of so it's really cool. I get to do like a 30-minute set on Zoom, highlighting 5 songs that I'm performing, and I'm mad excited about it. Super thankful for the opportunity. And I think it's gonna be streamed on YouTube as well. So if you're not a Zoom fan, you can go to YouTube and check us out there too, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good teaser.
I don't know, that was great. Is there any one specific song you're like really excited to perform and talk about?
Ooh, there's this new song that I wrote called Driveway, and I'm really, really excited about it because it like explores how much I've been like a sucker for love, and I've been in this like really weird place where I would always like attract people into my life who evidently were just not good for me. They were good people, you know, in their own retrospect, but like in terms of like my experience with them, it hasn't been great. And part of that is my fault because I just continue to believe that I'm worthy of love that's subpar, and that's not at all the case. Like, I'm worthy of love that's like awesome because that's the love that I give, you know? And if we're on the same level, then it'd be easier to work. So that's a song I'm really excited to perform because I love it so much. I love the way I wrote it. Like, it's just such a sick story. Like, I love it. It's one of my favorites personally. So yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
Thanks.
Is songwriting a form of like reflection and therapy for you?
Yes, yes. That's exactly what it is. Because I look back at the lyrics and I'm like, huh, yeah, you know, that was my fault. You're right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, next time, you know, I hope that I'll make better choices going forward, you know, because I deserve to not be sad. And you know what I mean? Yeah. I deserve to be happy. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever look back at an old song and like notice how different of a person you were back then?
Yes, especially in like
is
my
there
song.
One specific one?
No, I can't remember the name. So no, not exactly. There's a few of them that I'd look back and be like, man, I mean, that song was pretty good, but like, man, look how much I grew. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, like this song right here is so much better. Like, it totally like encapsulates how I was feeling like now in like a much more like, you know, like much more deeper, more detailed way, but still like a funky groove, you know, to like listen to, you know? So yeah.
That's cool that you can track your like maturity and growth, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I just noticed we've been talking for a bit, but thank you so much for coming on. Just for everyone else, thank you for joining us for today's interview. Oh, actually, I have one more follow-up question.
Sure.
Final question. Besides our upcoming live stream performance, is there anything you want to personally promote?
Just follow us at the UnObscured community. I'll type the Instagram right now. At the UnObscured community. That is us on Instagram. And just follow us for more stuff. And like, honestly, if you have stuff as like a queer or trans person or a gender variant person, however you identify in the LGBTQ plus community, it'd be cool if you started sending us your stuff so we can promote you, because we want to be like a community hub for folks to be. So that's really what it is. So yeah.
All right, that's super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure to tune in to CJRU's YouTube channel for the live stream performance by our very own Levi. It's going to be great, taking place this Wednesday at 3 p.m. And we'd also like to thank the Community Radio Fund of Canada for funding Toronto Live Off the Floor series and making this series possible. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Right.
Bye.